Good day, I'm going to show you how to install Windows Server 2008 on Oracle VirtualBox via a USB flash drive. So the first thing we're going to need is Rufus. Right? Click Rufus 2.11 and download. I will leave the link in the description. The second thing we're going to need is the Oracle VM VirtualBox. So, right, I already have it download here. And obviously you're going to need a Windows Server 2008 ISO file. Right? The first thing we're going to do is create the bootable flash drive. Rufus is simple. All you have to do is double click. Run the application. It may take a few minutes to open, so just be patient. Okay, it takes about 5 minutes to open up. Right? The first thing we're going to do is make sure the ISO image is selected. Right? You can leave all the settings as default. Right? It automatically detects my flash drive since there is only one flash drive there. Right? That's basically it for the configuration. Right? You click this little icon here and you browse to your Windows Server ISO. It will scan the image and automatically apply any settings that is necessary for the operation to continue. Right? That's basically it. Click start. It will warn you that it will destroy all the information on the flash drive. Once you agree with it, click OK. Right? So this process could take around 10 to 15 minutes depending on the size. So, like I said, with the magic of editing, we'll be right back. It's finished. So we can close off this. As we can see right here, all the information for the bootable flash drive has been created. Right. Now, what we want to do is to install the Oracle VirtualBox. This is the latest version so far, 5.1.16. So we're just going to open this and install it. Right. This bridge networking is important if you want to link up to the host network. So if you want to use the host internet connection, this is important. Right, everything is white, which means everything is going to be installed by default. So click next. This will just tell you that it will temporarily disconnect your network. So if you have any active internet connection, it will just be disconnected, and after it's installed, it will connect it back. So there's nothing to be worried about. Proceed with installation, yes. Right? Okay, has finished. Click finish to open the Oracle. Right, so as you can see, well, I already had some Oracle virtual machine set up. So the first thing we're going to do is set up the virtual machine. Right, so click new. Right. What we're going to install is Windows Server 2008. Right? Okay. Right, the version we have today is the 32-bit version, so make sure you switch to 32-bit. Right? Click next. Right? Server tends to typically run because it is really a redundant hardware the server run, which means it have multiple memory channels, multiple processor. So since my host machine has 8 GB RAM, I'm going to give this 2 GB RAM. But this is also, you gotta be careful that's how you don't use up too much of your host RAM. But I have 8 GB RAM, so I'll use 2 GB. Click next. Right. Create a virtual hard disk now. I'm going to do that. Click create. Right, I'll use default VDI image. Right click next. There's two things. There's dynamically allocated and there's fixed site. Basically what this does is put a limit. So if you put 20 gigabytes, it will start with 0 and it will dynamically expand until it reaches a maximum of 20 gigabytes. This one is a fixed site, which will mean it will automatically create an actual VDI that is 20 gigabytes. Right, the advantages of this one is that it don't actually use up all that space until it's actually required, but the drawback is that it's going to be a little slower. Right, because of time, I'm going to use the dynamically allocated, but I would recommend you use a fixed size if you're really going to use this for a lot of work and a lot of tasks. It just performs better. But as for the video, I'm going to use the dynamically allocated. Next. Alright, so I'm going to make sure it has sufficient amount. Like I said, this is dynamic, so it's not going to use up all this gigabyte unless you actually put all that information in it. So I can safely drop this as 100 gigabyte. Right, just to be on the safe side. It's not going to take up that much, but I'll just set it as that. I'll click create. Right, so what we're going to do now is some further configuration. So after it's been created, you right click and go into settings. Right, just run through these tabs. If you want, for instance, share, clipboard, drag and drop, well, I'll leave that off for now. Encryption, we don't need that. Right, base memory, extend features. So it's good to use this to include support. Right, so this will help improve supports. These others not really needed, but it's good to enable the IO APIC. Right, for display, I always go and give it 128 because, like I said, my computer has sufficient RAM. Enable 3D and 2D acceleration. Right, so as I enable that, I have the option to increase it to 256, so I'm going to do that. We're going to storage. Right, basically it will be acting as an optical drive. It's just the name. Basically what you need to do, just click here and choose which one of the drive from the host machine. The host machine is actually your physical PC, but before selecting this, you need to just go and check. Right, so the bootable flash drive is drive F. See the drive letter right here. So once you know that, you can minimize this, select this, host drive F. That's basically what you need. Right, it has some different options here. Allows the guest to send commands directly to the host drive, which possible make the CD DVD drive connects to the host inside. Right, all this you really don't need this. And then if you wanted to come on some hot pluggable, you could do that, but like I said, you don't really need that. Right, so that's basically what I need. Right, host drive F, click OK. That is it. That is it. There's nothing else to do here. Right, start the machine. Right, so clearly see we hasn't connected any ISO. We're using the host drive S, so we're using the bootable flash drive. Right, now we'll start. Right, just maximize this. Just load up the files. Setup is starting up. Alright, so here we go. Install English. Right. Search for your country. Well, this is Trinidad and Tobago, and obviously we use the US keyboards. Right, click next. Right, install now. Okay, we have a bunch of different options here, but we have the standard, the enterprise, the data center. There's a lot of different options here, right? So we're going to install the enterprise full edition. Click next. Right, read through the information and then you can accept the license terms. Right, click next. Right, since this is a fresh install, you would have the option to upgrade, but it's always recommended to always use the custom advanced. Right, so click that. Right, we have the 100 gigabytes we created for the VDI. That's basically it. Click next. It automatically creates all the partitions and everything for yourself. You don't need to do anything there. Right? So now this is the waiting part. I recommend you put up a movie. Go and find something to do because this may take a while. Okay, we can see that the installation is being completed. So right now we're just waiting for it to load up. Okay, it has loaded up. It'll ask you to change the user password. Click OK. We need to put a proper password, so I'll put password capital P ASS . Yeah, because it probably need to conform, which probably mean upper lower cases and numbers. So let's see if this is going to work. Has been changed. Okay. Right now it's prepared the desktop. After it finishes, everything will install and this will pop up. Right? Well, the time zone has been automatically detected and set because I already set this from some of this information before. Right, so Trinidad and Tobago, when you select the correct location, it will automatically detect the time zone. And to Trinidad and Tobago using La Paz, so this is already set. If you want, we could go into the settings here, just browse and add a computer description. You can modify the computer name, modify the domain. Alright, close this. Before you start to use this for production, the first thing you need to do, I always like to put on some of these icons. So, display settings, desktop background. You can change the colors and everything here. We have theme, right? So I always like to add these basic icons right here for ease of access. Right? Close this off. Right? Just classic icons. Don't want it too big, not too small. And align to grid. This is to ensure that equal spaces in between. But before we use this for production, you click properties and you go into the device manager. This is important. But before we do that, we could change the name and call it probably, what we could add here, it's probably Windows Server 2008. If you want, you can do that. Which is device manager. As we go to device manager, you can see all the different options here. processes, but like I said, there's some question mark, which means a driver probably is not installed properly. So the first thing we should do after here is go to the device and load up the guest additions. Right, so you load up the guest addition, you click it, you open it, click next. This is just the autoplay that came up right here. You could close this off. Right, you come here, click next. Install a guest addition. This is very important because this enables various viewing mode and enhancements. And then we reboot. So applying some settings here. Okay, we press the host key, which is the right, control and delete to log in. Right, put in the password, which is password 1 2 3 4. Right, preparing the desktop again. Right, as you can see, it takes the whole screen up. So when you restore it or any way you adjust the screen, the resolution will automatically adjust. So it's important and efficient to install a guest addition. Right, we can go back right here, go to the properties, check the device manager. Everything is installed, everything is working perfectly. Right, so what we can do is just basically shut it down. You can't shut this down without a reason. So basically, maintainers application could select at planned, different installation plan, security issues, other plan, all this. Right, this is a test. Click OK. Right, it's stopping all the services and everything. Powered off, and basically that's it.